Welcome to SAT TV News. I am Larry LaRoque, your presenter. In our top stories, numerous activities planned for Dumbfesta 2014. Barbados will not engage in trade war with St. Lucia. Hamas and Fatah unveil Palestinian reconciliation deal. And in sports, 17-man squad leave the island to participate in an under-17 invitational tournament in Martinique. Details of these will follow.
The wheel of change is here at SAT. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAT customers, simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more. Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. A number of activities are on the cards for this year's observation of Dumbfesta, with one of the main events being a concert titled Pan in Harmony by the Breezy Steel Symphony. This event will pay tribute to a veteran in the pan music industry, Mr. Edward Andre, who passed away on Monday, January 10, 2014.
The Pan in Harmony will feature young and talented pan players from Breezy Pan Symphony, Genesis, Posse Culture Pan, doing works from Beethoven, J.S. Bach, Glenn Miller, and just a few. The concert will take place at Alliance Française, May 24th at 7:30 p.m. What is so special about that concert? It's some of the pieces that we're going to play were some of the very famous pieces that my dad, Mr. Andre, really enjoyed and really would have loved the kids to play.
Another main event will be a hip-hop dance show at the Arawak House of Culture scheduled to take place on May 16th at 7 p.m., featuring Dominican and Martinique dancers.
Created in 2012 in metropolitan France, the show entitled Hurle Encore is composed of two hip-hop dancers, David Milom and Kevin Marijan, both from Martinique. The choreography showcases different styles of hip-hop dance, creating a very unique production examining human struggle against the system. Critically acclaimed by audience worldwide, Hurle Encore is currently on tour within the Caribbean, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, French Guiana, Latin America also, because David will host this performance in Venezuela, and of course, France. In Dominica, the show will be preceded by a local dance production by the talented dancers from B3 Company.
Meanwhile, Acting Chief Cultural Officer Ms. Jacinta David says this year's activities will be filled with exciting visual and performing arts. Other activities include a production by the Whitey Kubuli Dance Theatre Company on April 25th and 26th, the Dame High Scorers Concert on May 1st, and the Egliston Girodale Flower Show from May 3rd to 7th.
Our Dumbfesta photographic exhibition opens at the Old Mill Cultural Center from 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, May 6th. And on May 9th and the 10th, the play Madam Speaker by Teyat Powell will be on at the Arawak House of Culture. The end-of-year closing ceremony and concert for the Dominica Institute for the Arts, DIFA, will take place at the Arawak House of Culture on Tuesday, May 13th from 5 p.m. We continue to promote and preserve Dominica's Creole language. So in collaboration with the Comité pour Études Creole, the preliminaries of the annual Creole Spelling Bee competition for primary schools will be held on May 1st. And the finals will be held at the Arawak on Wednesday, May 14th at 10 in the morning.
African Liberation Week from May 21st to 25th, a night of poetry on May 22nd, a pork festival on May 30th to June 1st, and a New Dimension theatre play titled Desired Will Part 2, all form part of the lineup. Dumbfesta 2014 activities will begin on April 25th and will come to a close on June 1st. The public is being advised to attend as many events possible as we all celebrate Dumbfesta 2014. A number of cocoa farmers from the northern and western agricultural regions who participated in a Farmer Field School program were on Tuesday, April 22, 2014, presented with certificates of completion in a graduation ceremony at Fort Shirley in Cambridge, Portsmouth. This followed an 8-week training program held earlier this year which focused on pruning techniques. Director of Agriculture Mr. Ricky Bruman says he is encouraged by the efforts and enthusiasm of the cocoa farmers to breathe a new life into the cocoa industry.
Cocoa for us in the Ministry of Agriculture in the country is a very important crop. As a matter of fact, it can be considered a very strategic crop, and it has been proven to be a very top of the line income earner that farmers that can partake in. It is, of course, traditional, but it's not only that. It tells a bigger story than just being a tradition for most of our farm families. And the Ministry of Agriculture and the division by extension will certainly engage farmers across the country, and all the collaborators in ensuring that we meet our targets in establishing, in rehabilitating, and to ensure, of course, that we have the production that we require into the future.
He said the ministry is currently working on a drying facility in Marigot to aid in the process of agro-processing and exports, while they continue working on new infrastructure for the development of that crop. Mr. Bruman views cocoa as a high-income earner crop which the farmers of Dominica and by extension the economy will benefit from. Mrs. Theodora Anthony Williams, facilitator of the training course, said, "What was once considered a far-fetched concept became a reality with the completion of the training course."
We had 8 weeks of fun, where the students were given the opportunities to use their tools and learn the principles of pruning. There were opportunities to develop communication and life skills among the students. We even played ball while introducing each other. Today, I can boldly say that you are quite competent and equipped to prune and rehabilitate your plot. The work of learning has now started. Go out to your fields and revive those cocoa trees. Remember, they are your gold hanging on trees.
She advised the farmers that one can only learn by doing, so they must keep practicing to get better at what they learned while working in groups to increase cocoa production. The program, organized by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Dominica Export-Import Agency DEXIA, also involved practical hands-on experience and sharing of farmer experiences. Dominica will host the 12th meeting of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean State Council of Tourism Ministers this week at the Atlantic View Resort and Spa in Anzime on April 24, 2014. Ministers of Tourism officials from Anguilla, St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, Martinique and the Caribbean Tourism Organization are all expected to attend this meeting. The meeting commences with an opening ceremony at 8 a.m. on April 24th and ends with a press conference, during which the conclusions of the meetings will be made public. Prime Minister of Dominica, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, is expected to address the meeting during the opening ceremony. Discover Dominica Authority will kick off activities for Tourism Awareness Month 2014 with the Tourism Youth Congress on May 1, 2014. The event is structured to mirror a Caribbean Tourism Organization Board of Directors meeting and is open to secondary school students between 14 to 17 years old. Students must present their views on 1 or 2 tourism issues to their fellow junior ministers of tourism and will also be asked a mystery question. This year's topics include accessible tourism, which looks at the difficulty associated with travel for persons with disabilities and experimental tourism, where the focus is not on the destination but on the overall experience. Confirmed participants are the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, Orion Academy, Cassie Bruce Secondary School, and the Convent High School. The Tourism Youth Congress will take place at 10 a.m. at the Arak House of Culture. A member of the Nature Enhancement Team, NET, which focuses on turtle conservation on the island, is urging Dominicans to come view the turtles that visit our shores during the breeding season. Ms. Judy Joyce, member of NET, says the turtle breeding season, which began in March of this year, will peak during the end of April into the month of May.
So people now can come to Rosalie for all sorts of activities and then walk along a beach and then come out, and you can come help us even on like April 26th when we want to do our Earth Day this year. We need beach cleaners. Those poor turtles need a lot of sand to make their nest, and we have grass in the way. So we're here asking Dominicans to come join us in Rosalie.
She noted, although the peak months are April and May, some turtles such as the giant leatherbacks continue to visit the beach in the months of June and July, while the hawksbill and the green turtle stay until September. Throughout the breeding period, a number of activities will take place.
The first was the opening of turtle season, which was March 15th. We had patrollers on the beach every night. And shortly after, the tours started right in. We have 3 different tours. We have the turtle watching tour, which is every night at around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And that one you could call, you go to the website, you can contact the hotel, and anyone can come, and it's $10 per person, and then Dominicans would be paying 10 EC, and children are half that price. And you get a nice hour and a half, 2-hour lesson on all about turtles. That's ongoing for the whole season, right through to the end of August, right up to school, kids going back to school.
She added, one can subscribe to a turtle call list, where they will be called once a turtle comes to nest on the beach, as they normally remain there for 2 to 2.5 hours. The public can also witness the hatching of baby turtles before they travel to the sea to leave the island. Dominica has been listed as number 1 by Radio Scuba, a radio show devoted to diving. The ranking, which appeared on the show's website on April 23, 2014, stated that the Nature Island consistently delivers the best in Caribbean diving, if not the world. It made special mention of the Champion Reef and the Scott's Head drop-off. Dominica topped the list ahead of the Bahamas, Saba, Borneo, Florida, Cayman Islands, Cozumel in Mexico, Grenada, Roatan, and the Catalina Island. And in court news, 22-year-old repeat offender Von Akim Smith of Kinfield, who appeared before a Roseau magistrate just 2 months before he was billed on an offense of theft, is now sitting in prison. On Tuesday, Smith pleaded guilty to unlawful entry and intent to steal from the Wesleyan Hotel in Kinfield on April 15, 2014. The facts presented by police prosecutor Valder Powell stated that the hotel manager, Cedric Joseph, was awakened by a noise at about 6:45 a.m. on that morning and went to investigate. He noticed the defendant trying to gain entry into the building using a key he had in his possession. Joseph immediately went to arm himself with a cutlass and apprehended Smith, who began wailing and eventually made good his escape. The matter was reported to the police, who went in search of Smith and found him on Great George Street in Roseau on April 17th. He denied having any knowledge of the incident when police informed him of their investigation. Smith was arrested and later charged. In court on Tuesday, Smith told Magistrate Ali Gill he had gone to the hotel that morning to visit friends of his who resided there before he was incarcerated last year. Smith is now serving a 2-month sentence. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
The wheel of change is here at SAS. New and exciting rewards just for you. Sat customers, simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with Sat TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more.
Get more from Sat TV, the people's choice. Sat terms and conditions apply.
Taking care of my family is important to me. Appliances from Quartz makes it a lot easier. So come in today and get this Mabe 30-inch cooker for $1,699 cash or $20 weekly. Whirlpool washer for $2,299 cash or $27 weekly. Don't wait. At Quartz, you get the world's best brands at the best prices. I love that, and you will too. Quartz, bringing value home.
In our top regional stories, Barbados says it will use the May 6th to 10th Council of Trade and Economic Development, COTID, scheduled for Guyana to iron out a possible trade dispute with St. Lucia. St. Lucia has announced the imposition of a 70% tax on Barbadian goods effective May 1st, justifying it by pointing to a 2012 decision which allows for lesser developed countries of CARICOM to implement the duty on products from the region's more developed countries. Barbados has not issued an official complaint on the matter, but will engage in quiet diplomacy and dialogue with colleagues in St. Lucia. Prior to the Guyana meeting, consultations are going on internally with the private sector who are affected, as well as officials between St. Lucia and Barbados. In more regional news, leader of the main opposition Antigua Labour Party ALP, Gaston Brong says his party will not be fearful of the ruling to be made by the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in two matters that could have impact on the general elections later this year. He said that his party is ready for the elections, whether there is an old or new list or old or new boundaries. Chief Registrar of the Appeals Court, Kimberly Sinak Fulgens, has informed the attorneys that the ruling will be made on April 28th. The Court of Appeal will determine whether the electoral list resulting from the September 30th to November 4th, 2013 registration exercise is lawful and can be used for general elections. The High Court had earlier ruled the list lawful, but the ALP appealed contending that the 2010 amendment to the electoral law, under which the registration exercise was conducted, ought not to have been appealed retroactively. In the 2009 general election, the United Progressive Party won 9 seats, with 8 seats going to the Antigua Labour Party. And on international scene, rival Palestinian factions Fatah and Hamas have announced a reconciliation deal, saying they will seek to form a unity government in the coming weeks. Hamas and Fatah split violently in 2007, and previous reconciliation agreements have never been implemented. The deal comes amid troubled peace talks between Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas and Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu earlier said Mr. Abbas would have to choose between peace with Israel and peace with Hamas. Israel, along with the US and the EU, views the Islamic Hamas group as a terrorist organization. Sports is next, so stay tuned.
The wheel of change is here at SAT. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAT customers, simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more.
Get more from Sat TV, the people's choice. Sat terms and conditions apply.
Thank you for staying tuned. A 17-man squad left the island today to participate in an under-17 invitational football tournament in Martinique. The tournament, which will run from April 23rd to 27th, will be captained by Fitz Jolly and Andres Joseph as his deputy. The full squad reads Fitz Jolly, Andres Joseph, Kasim Peltier, Karen Maglaw, Cameron Paul, Jamie Parillo, Ishmael Sablon, Sheldon Pierre, Chevron Bellot, Nelson Woodman, Omar Lewis, Nick Anthony, Usher George, Janaya Charles, Dante Moses, Yanel Joseph, and Edmond Sablon. The team's manager is John Joseph, with Stanton Serafin as the coach. The other members of the team include Julie Polidor, who will serve as trainer, and Flora Robinson as medic. Dominica will compete against Haiti, French Guiana, and host country Martinique. Meanwhile, fitness trainer Keith Prosper and former FIFA referee Daniel Leslie left the state earlier today to participate in a FIFA Futuro free instructors course. Leslie will participate in the referee's instructors course, while Prosper will participate in the trainer's course. And in cricket, Jamaica withstood an inspired spell from medium pacer Kevin Stout to clinch a one-wicket victory over Barbados yesterday and advance to the final of the Regional 4-Day tournament. Stout captured 5 for 29 from 16 overs, and left-arm spinner Suleiman Ben ended with 3 for 78 from 26 overs as the Jamaicans successfully chased 167 for victory on the final day of the semi-final at Kensington Oval. Jermaine Blackwood hit 4 boundaries, top scoring with 64 from 98 balls in 2 hours, and Andre McCarthy made 43. No other batsman reached 20 as the visitors almost blew their chance to win. Final scores in the match: Jamaica 302 and 167 for 9, Barbados 245 and 223. The Jamaicans will now make a short stop to St. Lucia, where they will face Windward Islands in the final, starting on Saturday at the Boucher-Jou Cricket Ground. We now join the Dominica Met Office for today's weather report.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am your presenter, Annie Corrette Joseph. We start off this evening by taking a look at some earlier satellite imagery. What it showed was the presence of some high-level clouds over the area, and this moved from the west to the east. There was also the presence of a few patches of low-level clouds over Dominica, and this resulted in fair to partly cloudy conditions today. Earlier radar imagery indicated a few spotty shower activity across the area. The stations in Dominica did not record any rainfall today. What conditions do we expect for tonight? Fair to partly cloudy, slightly hazy and occasionally breezy, with the possibility of some cooler late night to early morning showers. Temperatures on the coast are expected to be down to 24 degrees Celsius and 20 in the interior. Winds southeasterly near 35 kilometers per hour. Similar conditions also expected for tomorrow, fair to partly cloudy. Temperatures on the coast are expected to peak up to 31 degrees Celsius and 27 in the interior. Winds easterly near 30 kilometers per hour. Sea conditions tomorrow, moderate in open water, with swells peaking near 7 feet. The next 3 days, what's expected? Fair to partly cloudy, with a few brief scattered showers. Temperatures are expected to peak up to 31 degrees Celsius throughout, with winds peaking near 30 to 35 kilometers per hour. A high-pressure system will continue to be the dominant feature across the region. This will result in partly cloudy to cloudy conditions in Trinidad. Meanwhile, from Grenada all the way northwards across to San Juan, Puerto Rico, fair to partly cloudy conditions. Temperature across the Lesser Antilles will peak near 31 degrees Celsius, and for St. Croix and Puerto Rico, 32 degrees Celsius. The international city forecast: apart from some thunderstorm in Caracas, partly cloudy conditions in London, beautiful sunny conditions are expected in New York, Miami, and Beijing. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:45 a.m. and set at 6:22 p.m. For updated information, visit our website at www.weather.gov.dm or call the weather hotline at 447-5555. Join us tomorrow evening for your next weather broadcast. Good night.
Our thanks to the Met Office for that report. And now this takes us to the end of our newscast for the evening. When we return, a recap of the headlines.
The wheel of change is here at SAT. New and exciting rewards just for you. SAT customers, simply pay your bill and get the new Loyalty Plus plan for free. That's 26 channels absolutely free for a limited period. Yes, you heard me, free. And if you do pay your bill, you'll have a chance to win big with SAT TV. Up to $15,000 in prizes are up for grabs. 7-inch tablets, BlackBerry smartphones, food vouchers, and much, much more.
Get more from SAT TV, the people's choice. SAT terms and conditions apply.
And now for a recap of the headlines. Numerous activities planned for Dumbfesta 2014. Barbados will not engage in trade war with St. Lucia. Hamas and Fatah unveil Palestinian reconciliation deal. And in sports, 17-man squad left the island to participate in an under-17 invitational tournament in Martinique. You have been watching SAT TV's news. We thank you for joining us and we invite you to join us again tomorrow for another newscast. On behalf of SAT TV's news production team, I am Larry LaRock wishing you a pleasant evening. Feel free to send your queries and comments to news@sat.dm. You can also join us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/SATtelecoms or follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/SATtelecoms. Remember, SAT Telecom is a people's choice and SATnet a better choice.